Hello, Miami. This is 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will, and ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching today, welcome to the first ever and very new segment called Flip Watch, right? In Flip Watch, some of you will be happy to hear, some of you will be upset to hear, some people will think that, oh, I'm just trying to make a conversation, just make a conversation. But the bottom line is I'm trying to make a conversation. I'm trying to get everyone to pretty much chime in and talk about the recruiting world and how it affects Miami Hurricanes and how it actually affects other schools as well. So the whole point of this segment is to pretty much dive a little bit into some of the players that are married or dating certain schools. I'm sorry, not married, but dating certain schools that they've committed already to certain schools, but not yet ready to walk down the aisle with them. Not just yet. Basically, they're hearing from everybody else and interested in meeting and taking conversations and visits and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's pretty much what I want to talk about. So it's what I'm trying to do is kids that have committed to a school already. If there's a rumor that they may flip to the Miami Hurricanes, I will be covering that story as part of this new segment called Flip Watch. And there's no bigger flip watch being watched today or being looked at today, no more than Central High's wide receiver LaWayne McCoy. All right, LaWayne McCoy is an individual that people have jokingly said has been on flip watch since he committed to Florida State back in April, not too long ago. Now, one of the things about LaWayne is that what's been talked about is that he really wanted to be a Miami Hurricane, but Miami didn't quite recruit him, as much as he would have liked to have been recruited early on. So he decided to give the Florida State Seminoles, basically his word or that he may or may not, sign with them. He'll sign with them eventually. But the bottom line is that, there's still a lot of rumors about this kid. He's still taking visits to Miami as well, that he could possibly flip, with in terms of becoming a Miami Hurricane. And let's talk a little about LaWayne. Right, what makes LaWayne so attractive to Canes fans? Well, first things foremost, he's 6'1", 170 pounds. He's a two-way player. He's absolutely fast. He's a great route runner. Might be one of the best wide receivers. Not one of the best. He's one of the best wide receivers in South Florida. Obviously, there's no one. JoJo Trader and Jeremiah Smith have that title. So on and so on. He's considered the 19th best athlete in the country. Okay. For Central last season, 20 catches, 491 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He played defense as well as a two-way player, in which he got 9 tackles, 5 breakups, and an interception. So what's going to be going on is there's been a lot of talk about him. Before I recorded this episode, On3, created an article about him being an FSU commit, but Miami's not yet out of the picture. Okay, so even the national sports media is talking about this, the fact that this kid might eventually wear the U, when it's all said and done next season. But we'll see what happens. But why Florida State? Well, let's be honest, okay? Let's look at it from this perspective. Florida State had a good season last year. They won 10 games. They started out really well, this past season when they beat up, LSU. A little bit of trouble against Boston College as they almost narrowly were upset, by Boston College, but they pulled that game out. They have 2 great wide receivers and pretty much a Keon Coleman, and Johnny Wilson, and there's a future's bright and the recruiting well. So the future's bright under Novell. That's what it seems to look like. And on the surface, both Wilson and Coleman are probably going to go to the NFL. So someone like McCoy will get an opportunity right away to get some playing time and even start, for Florida State. Okay, so those are the advantages of him remaining a null. Okay, if he wants to continue to play for Florida State. But let's look at the Canes. Number one, they're relentless recruiting. Miami doesn't care if you're committed until you sign on that day. Mario Cristobal is calling you, and so are his coordinators. So Shannon Dawson is probably is contacting him. Kevin Beard is a hell of a recruiter. We know that's not stopping either. And let's not forget, the head coach himself, Mario Cristobal, emphasizes greatly on recruiting. He was at the Shamanan, Madonna game with American Heritage, basically, supporting the recruits that have already committed to the Canes, as well like Saquon Patterson and JoJo Trader. But not only that, he's also looking at, potential prospects as well, for his team. So, the conversations haven't stopped. LaWayne is a kid that Miami would greatly enjoy, especially if they don't get Jeremiah Smith, right? He's a Ohio State hard commit, but we don't know. And I know that current players right now are pushing him to flip, decommit from Ohio State and flip and become a Cane. Right now, the Canes, as of right now, the way it looks, they're in a good position offensively. Shannon Dawson's offense is very, very, very wide receiver friendly, as you could tell. And Kevin Beard is a hell of a coach. All right. Jacoby George is having a great year. Xavier Strippel is having a good year. Colby Young is having a solid year as well, despite, the fumble against Bethune and a drop as well. But nonetheless, pretty solid. He's been pretty solid as well. The wide receivers, the young guys have come out, like Ray Joseph and so on. They have a lot of nice things to say. So the wide receiver position has greatly improved under Shannon Dawson and the coaching of Kevin Beard. And let's face it, recruits also like Kevin Beard. They like Ron Dugans as well. Don't get me wrong. He did well here when he was a wide receiver coach for the Canes, and he's doing good things over there at Florida State. But they love Kevin Beard. Kevin Beard is, pretty much a player's coach, and he's a good teacher as well. And he even puts on cleats and gets down and dirty with his players. So that's where I think, in the end, it's going to lie. Do I think LaWayne McCoy is going to flip the way it looks like? I think eventually he will. Again, as I've said time and time again on the show, I don't know what a kid's necessarily thinking. I'm just going by what they're saying, in terms of conversations in the YouTube sphere. And again, On3, all right, released an article about LaWayne possibly flipping to Miami, as Miami is not necessarily out of the picture yet. All right. But nonetheless, still coming into Florida State, but he's a possibility that he's going to flip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. If you like what you heard, please do not forget to comment, like, and share through 5 Sports Now. Once again, I am Will. Stay safe. God bless you soon. Go Canes. All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.